Tag 55 comes out of pin 15. This is ear notch 41-2. Sired by doing this, Dan would be Skull and Bones on No Hesitation Sister. Again, that sow that came from the stud. Tag 55 was one we thought fit really well. Much like her sister that came from a previous pin, kind of a market hog special when you talk about just her skeletal width, the horsepower that she's got from her blade back to her hip, the shape that she has working down the upper part of her skeleton, and still combining that with some attractiveness and some presence when she elevates her head. She is one that you're probably going to have to feed a little slower, probably back her protein level down just a bit to kind of make everything blend together right and stay together as she progresses. But I think if she does that, that one could fit the bill for that market hog type scenario, I think, very, very well. Again, that particular gilt is going to come out of pin number 15, and she is tag 55, ear notch 41-2. Tag 56 from pin 15 is ear notch 53-1. This is also going to be a solid white crossbred. Grand Gesture, Cricket's Ghost. Again, the grandma on both sides of the pedigree is going to be the mother of our champion York at San Antonio that we had this past year. This particular litter is really gilt heavy, and I think the strength of the gilt speaks for itself, and this one it certainly fits that particular scenario as well. Great looking from the side, has just a very neat presence about her when she throws her head in the air. Good in terms of the spread and shape that she's got down the upper part of her body. Very good in terms of her proportions, her elevation, and her height to length ratio, I think, is very fitting on that particular pig. And relative to maybe even some of the mates, even a little bit more conservative going away from you for those more aggressive feeders that want to push on that one a little harder, really targeting those January shows and maybe a York division. I think that one maybe fits as good as any of them. Tag 57 from pin 15 is ear notch 53-7. Solid white crossbred, Grand Gesture, Cricket's Ghost. Out of that really good litter like we've discussed, and that Barra is one that's a little bit more immature, I think, initially, but man, I like his proportions once again. His height up front and his look ahead of his shoulder is very similar to what his father looks like, and part of what we thought made his sire a unique breeding piece was that presence and that high-headedness, and blend of that with still some horsepower, especially when you get in behind him. That hog's got a good shape to his rib. He's got muscle, he's got spread to him, and I think a Barra that will pretty easily class Yorkshire. If we're not spotting up by this point with our facilities, we're usually in very good shape, and I think that makes a nice, good feeding white Barra for somebody that wants to fall in that Yorkshire division. So once again, tag 57, ear notch 53-7, and he comes out of pin 15.